Hi everyone. Now we're going to read another Mulla Nasruddin tale called Magic Money.
A crowd of people clustered around a stall in the marketplace. Mulla Nasruddin edged his way to the front to see what was attracting the crowd.
This is a very special sword. Shing! The salesman yelled, and it only cost 3,000 piastres.
You could buy 15 donkeys for that amount. And you can buy a sword like that for 100th of the price, said a man from the crowd. What's so special about this one?
You're misunderstood, my friend, the mullah joked. It is the price that makes this sword special, not the other way around.
Everything is a joke to you, Mullah, the salesman said. But let me tell you, my friends, this sword may not look like anything special here in a market in times of peace, but take it to war and you will see its magic.
The crowd clamored to find out more. In battle, the salesman said, drawing the sword from its scabbard, the user pulls it out to attack his enemy, like so, and the sword, no more than 3 feet long as you look at it now, will stretch instantly to 5 feet. He raised his arm so that the sword swayed and glinted high above his head. That, my friends, is the miracle of the sword. It is a magic sword. The crowd cheered and clapped, and the mullah was impressed at the man's selling skills, especially when one of the crowd stepped forward and bought the sword. He certainly knows the magic of creating money, said the mullah as he walked home. The following week, he went along the market and found the same salesman.
I have something for you to sell, he said, handing over a metal object. I want 3,000 piastres for it.
The salesman unwrapped the mullah's parcel. Excuse me, mullah, but why are you asking so much for a pair of kitchen tongs?
The mullah looked surprised. Last week you sold a sword for the same price and it wasn't even new.
But mullah, much as I respect you, I have to say this is a very ordinary pair of tongs. I sell them myself for less than 3 piastres. Last week, you managed to sell a very ordinary sword for a vast price. Most people would say you created money from nothing. You forget, mullah, that was a magic word. In battle, it extended from 3 feet to 5. Yes, I remember, and when my wife hurls these tongs in domestic battle, my friend, they fly the air to a distance of 10 feet. That means in action, they go twice the length of the sword. So that's the end of the story. So
sometimes it can be a battlefield in the kitchen too, between husband and wife. So enjoy.
Okay, that's the end of the story. Bye. Now we're going to read another Mulla Nasruddin tale called Fruit for Growing. Mulla Nasruddin stepped quietly into the courtroom and took a seat at the side. Emperor Timur, remember Emperor Timur from the tale Is It Possible? Emperor Timur had made him a judge and he felt there was a lot to be learned from watching others at work. The judge arrived and took a seat.
I've seen this man before, the mullah thought, but where?
Who do you think this man is? Who knows? Let's read and we'll find out. Before he could remember, the case began.
My lord judge, began a well-dressed merchant. I often pass Akashir on business, and when I travel to and fro, I spend the night at the rest house belonging to this man. He pointed to an innkeeper, a hunched, angry-looking man who was standing not far from the mullah.
The last time I was on my way to Istanbul, I had a meal at his rest house. Before I went to my room, I told him I would be leaving early in the morning, and I promised to pay the bill on my way back home. He agreed. When I had finished my business in Istanbul, I returned to the rest house and asked him for my account. And to my surprise, he presented me with a bill for 2 200 piastres. That's enough to feed my donkey for a year.
Were you satisfied with the food and the room? The judge asked.
I was indeed, Your Honor. Then what is your complaint?
Your Honor, 200 piastres is not a fair price for only 2 visits. Surely anyone can see that.
The judge turned to the innkeeper. What have you to say, my man? Each time he visited, Your Honor, I gave him a hearty meal of chicken, 2 eggs, and half a loaf of bread.
Generous, I'll agree, the judge said. But the price still seems high.
Well, you see, Your Honor, said the innkeeper, this gentleman did not pay me immediately and he returned there whole months later. During that time, the chicken he ate could have laid 90 eggs, and those 90 eggs would have hatched into chickens and have been ready to lay eggs themselves by now. In fact, I would have had a whole coop full of chickens, each one laying dozens of eggs. You must appreciate that Oh, wait. It's the next page, guys. Oh no. Could have made much more than 200 piastres from the chicken this customer ate. The judge nodded. His face was serious.
Mulla Nasruddin pushed back his turban a tiny fraction and looked at him from beneath furrowed brows. And then he remembered where he had seen the judge before, leaving the house of the innkeeper, thanking him for his excellent meal, while a little boy followed him carrying a very fat, freshly roasted goose. The mullah frowned more deeply and concentrated hard.
The judge cleared his throat. After reflecting carefully on the accounts from both sides, he said, I have decided that the innkeeper has the better case. The merchant is to pay the full 200 piastres here and now.
But, Your Honor, the merchant protested.
No buts about it, the judge snapped. It is decided.
Then we will appeal the case, a voice called from the side of the room.
Who said that? The judge demanded.
Mulla Nasruddin rose slowly to his feet and ambled over to the center of the courtroom. If this worthy gentleman will accept my help, that is.
The merchant accepted, and a few weeks later the case came to court again. But there was no sign of Mulla Nasruddin. The innkeeper fidgeted with his accounts. The merchant stood waiting. The judge grew impatient. The officers of the court looked anxious, and the spectators waiting. The judge whispered and shuffled, but still the mullah didn't come. The judge had enough. Bring Mulla Nasruddin here, he commanded. How dared he keep us waiting? Just as the moment the mullah tumbled into the courtroom, his clothes flying, his beard ruffled, his turban away, he stood beside the merchant and tidied himself a little as he caught his breath.
My apologies, Your Honor, he said. I was held up by my partner. He's a farmer, you see, and we share a wheat crop. We divide a small portion of the wheat between us and sell the rest. From it we pay taxes and spend the rest on seeds for the next crops. I've been wondering for a while now how to save a bit of more for ourselves. And it has occurred to me that if we plant the burgle from our store cupboards instead, we can save all the money that we usually spend on fresh seeds. Burgles? Don't you know that burgles, it's wheat that has been cracked and cooked, Mulla Nasruddin?
Indeed I do, Your Honor. I take it as you don't know much about farming then, the judge scornfully. If you did, you would not expect fresh produce from cooked foods. The mullah replied, thank you, Your Honor, because you see I have been puzzling since I was last in your courtroom. How is that cooked chickens produce eggs and cooked eggs produce chickens? So that's the end of the story.
So Mulla Nasruddin practically showed the judge that he was not making a sound judgment about the merchant and the innkeeper. I hope you all like our stories of Mulla Nasruddin's wisdom.
Please subscribe to my channel. Bye.